everyone, and welcome to the Week 11 edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial calls of the weekend. I'm Simon Borg. We start with Saturday's Red Bulls Timbers match, where the most discussed play was the goal scored by Bradley Wright Phillips that was called back because of an offside flag from assistant referee Brian Dunn. But when Thierry Henry takes the original free kick, you see Eric Alexander is even with the last Timbers defender. And then Wright Phillips is behind the ball on the Alexander pass. To me, that goal should have stood. Dunn's colleague on the opposite side, assistant Claudio Badea, got it right earlier in the game in the 9th minute. Wright Phillips was definitely offside on this play. Then there was the penalty called by referee Drew Fisher in the 35th minute. Timbers defender Pa Moduka uses his right arm to drag down Lloyd Sam. No doubt about it, and Wright Phillips nets his 10th of the year. The Red Bulls made an appeal for 2 other penalties in this game, but the referee did well not to call either of them. In the 32nd minute, a shot by a teammate deflects off Jack Jewsbury's arm. He had no time to react, ball to hand. Then 5 minutes from time, this Henry shot hits Norberto Paparato in the chest. And if you don't agree with me on the point of impact, Paparato's arms are still at his side, so no handball there either. Now, to Columbus, where the crew also wanted 2 early penalty kicks, and I think they had a case on both of them. First, in the 14th minute, Fire defender John Kennedy Hurtado misses the ball and takes down Jairo Arrieta. And just 2 minutes later, these two were at it again. I think Hurtado clips Arrieta, who tries to stay on his feet. When it becomes apparent the advantage is lost, I think the PK should be whistled. In the end, the crew didn't need either call. They won easy, 2-0. But here's a play that will have people talking. Fire forward Quincy Amarikwa gets a yellow for diving. You see here, he tries to draw the contact, doesn't get it, and trips himself, but gets right back up. Should the fact that he got up right away matter? I say no. At Rio Tinto Stadium, Dallas winger Fabian Castillo tried to stay on his feet after this tackle by Chris Schuler. Similar to the Arrieta play in Columbus, when the advantage is lost and the goalkeeper touches the ball, I think the referee is still in his right to call the penalty kick. But there was no whistle here. Moving to Gillette Stadium, where DC United were in a pushy mood. Both Perry Kitchen and Davy Arnaud picking up yellow cards on these plays. But the big play was the red card to Eddie Johnson in the 82nd minute. Now, I can see why referee Juan Guzman gave it. From his vantage point, he sees EJ make a movement as he's trying to knee or kick Kellen Rowe, who's down on the ground. Then the Revs player gets up right away in outrage. But what the referee doesn't see, and we have the advantage of the replay, is that there was no contact, and EJ clearly is tempted to get a kick in, but restrains himself. Let's see if DC appealed this red card. I think there are grounds. That wasn't the only ejection that was questioned this weekend. Toronto captain Stephen Caldwell says that this challenge into Sporting's Antonio Dovale was worthy of a yellow and nothing more. Come on! This is the definition of endangering the safety of your opponent. That entry was as bad as this one from Javon Watson earlier this year, which was also punished by a straight red. Both of them are very different than what Blas Perez did last week. The Dallas man was in a shooting motion under goal, and there's nothing he could have done to get out of that one. But back to Sporting Park, where Caldwell had an eventful game. In addition to the red card, I thought he may very well have committed a handball in the box just before halftime, which wasn't called. The video, however, is not crystal clear. And then moments before that, he cocks his elbow and nails Dom Dwyer on this header. I thought it was worthy of a red card, but referee Baldomero Toledo doesn't go to his pocket at all. Dwyer dusted himself off and played the full 90, and in the 73rd minute, he wanted this penalty kick. But I think it's a weak claim. Sporting eventually got a PK in this one in the 83rd minute when Daniel Henry just clatters into Juliao. No brainer on that one, and Dwyer scores his league-leading 10th of the season. More penalties! This time we go to Buckshaw Stadium and the 57th-minute PK awarded to the Quakes. Look at Houston's Corey Ash, who could not care less about the ball when he delivers this shoulder into Steven Leonard's chest. You've got to call that, and referee Jeff Gamble has no choice. Corey Stevenson says, thank you very much. Good to see Leonard back after he missed the last 7 games, except that he was lucky not to get sent off in the 60th minute. He masks it well, but this looks like an elbow into the head of Houston's David Horst. I think it deserved a red card, but Gamble only gives him a yellow for reckless play. Horst, I think, was also guilty of a play that endangered the safety of his opponent. In the 29th minute, look closely how Horst leaves the ground and sinks his studs into the ankle of Yannick Jallo, but no foul is called. Moving down the coast to LA, where I think the Philadelphia Union should have had a penalty kick in the 75th minute. Galaxy defender Tommy Meyer extends his left arm in deflecting this cross, and referee Jorge Gonzalez doesn't call it. You see the ref motioning as if Meyer's arm was tucked behind his back, which wasn't the case in my opinion. The Union eventually did get a PK call toward the end of the game as rookie Raul Mendiola delivers this hip check on Philly's Zach Pfeffer in the box. But Maurice Edu's conversion is merely consolation in the Union's 4-1 loss. To the most discussed penalty kick of the weekend, the Sounders late equalizer in Vancouver. Jay Demerit wins a header on Cam Weaver in the box, and referee Ismail Elfa points to the spot. But what do you expect? He rests both of his arms on Weaver's shoulders, plural, shoulders, and doesn't allow Weaver to jump for the ball. This photo, tweeted at us by Aaron S., tells the story. I think there could have been another late PK called in the match. This one for the Whitecaps. It's stoppage time, and look how Seattle's Osvaldo Alonso goes in for this slide tackle in the box and whacks the legs of Pedro Morales in the process. Alonso's outraged, but I think he got him good. A great decision by Elfaf came in the 41st minute when he booked Gershon Kofi for this dive in the box. Why is it so great? That was really hard to see from the referee's vantage point, but he nailed it. Great job. One of the highlights of the match at BC Place was Eric Hurtado's goal in the 39th minute, but he was lucky to still be on the field in my opinion. Look at this studs-up challenge in the 16th minute on Seattle's Leo Gonzalez. That could have done some serious damage, but the ref doesn't issue a card. Instead, he gives a talking to Sebastian Fernandez, who says, wait, who, me? It was Hurtado! Another player who I think got lucky this weekend, Hernan Bernardello of the Montreal Impact. I think he should have been sent off for this brutal 62nd minute challenge on Deshaun Brown. He loses the challenge for the ball, and what does he do? Just whacks Brown from behind with the ball long gone. Referee Chris Penso doesn't even card him. Instead, Bernardello stays on the field and gets in another wild kick, this time on Jose Mari. No card issued on that play either. Referee Chris Penso had his hands full in this one, and it started early. He issued a third-minute penalty kick to Colorado, which I think may have been harsh. From the angles we have, I don't see clear proof that Edson Buttle was pulled down by Sananayasi. I think it's just an off-balance shot by Buttle. But the Rapids take full advantage for their league-leading 6th PK of the season. And Colorado could have had another one just before halftime, in my opinion. Look at how Patrice Bernier just plain pushes Jose Mari in the box as they're going up for a header. That was a foul to me. A good no call by Penso came in the 53rd minute as Felipe Martins loses this shoulder-to-shoulder challenge against Marvell Wynn just outside the box. Get up! No foul! But the Impact have one gripe in this game, and it's legitimate. In the 65th minute, Issy Nakajima Ferran in his debut for Montreal is whistled for offside. But you can see that when the ball leaves Justin Knapp's foot, he's well onside, and it's only when goalkeeper Clint Irwin's arm goes up that the assistant Brian Poschel signals for offside. And we end by going back to StubHub Center for an odd play that took place in the 31st minute. Galaxy midfielder Juninho just commits a reckless foul and protests by bumping into referee Jorge Gonzalez, who pulls out a red card. No, I mean a yellow card. But I'll argue he should have been given a red anyway. That was a reckless challenge by Juninho, so we probably all agree that's a yellow. But then I think the fact that the Brazilian bumps the ref is worth a second yellow on the spot. But Juninho gets off easy. That's all we have for this week. For our editor John Benton, I'm Simon Borg. See you next time.